Rich Lieberman, it is a Tuesday Media Pulse. I'm here with my new hat that I wear, especially when it rains. It's very helpful. Um, in any event, so I I've listened to this Greg Papa, and I almost said Mike Silver. That would have been apropos. Same thing, basically. Greg Silver. This is the new. It's the new daddy show. This is so embarrassing, even by KNBR standards. It is so embarrassing. In any event, this is what our radio is now in San Francisco. Look, this is sports talk radio, and I I waited a week because this new show debuted last Monday, and boy, could you just not wait? Um, this is a brutal show. I mean, it's awful even by, like I said, KNBR standards. And I really feel embarrassed for Greg Papa. He should be embarrassed, but Greg is a large family to feed, I guess, and what have you. So KNBR, as I have said repeatedly, is now in the coffin, dead, you know, DOA, dead. So they have these new morsel shows. I call it the daddy shows. Daddy one is Papa, and let's see, the son of Daddy Mike Silver. We have Greg Silver, who looks like he's about 12 years old, and he's doing this interaction with Greg Papa, and it's a brutal show. For starters, and this has been ongoing, Papa just talks over everybody. And it's almost as if, I mean, has this guy got a hearing aid? Does he hear when he talks? He's literally talking over, which is not such a bad thing because whom he's talking over is this really, oh my God, it's not his fault, but Greg Silver, who is, of course, the son of Mike Silver, and who was adamant in telling the KNBR Uber driver slash program director uh, that he wanted his son to be on KNBR. And this was many moons ago. And now this guy, who looks like, again, he looks like he's about 12, he's the new co host. He replaced another retrobot named John Lund, who at least gave the show some degree of credibility. And now we have Papa, or Greg and Greg, excuse me. That's the official new show. And it's dreadful. It's just dreadful. Papa talks over this kid. This kid has nothing to say. And when he does say something, he goes on and on and on. I think he's just trying to impress the fact that he's there and he has to fulfill a role. Therefore, he's going to just talk to talk. And then Papa talks over him. The kid says nothing, makes these bizarro kind of points, if you will. It's brutal. And they have these various guests, and these are regulars. I guess they're paying them the Snickers bars, what have you, to appear on each of these shows. And it's bad. It's so bad that, I mean, I shudder to think that people actually listen to this garbage. It's garbage. And it gets mediocre, would be a fantastic review. It's not mediocre. Look, that's why I waited a week and a half to give it some element of, I'm going to listen. Who knows? Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll have some solid, the only good thing about it, I will say this, is the fact that at least John Lund is not there. And Lund is a total travesty wherever he's gone. He brags about the fact that he worked in every other market in the United States, when in fact he should have been saying, geez, I wonder what's the deal with me working in a whole bunch of markets. That must have meant that I'm being let go everywhere I go. And he finally had some wherewithal here in the Bay Area, and that didn't last long, as of course Cumulus cut the cord on the latest round of setbacks for people who worked there and made what they deemed too much money. That's number one. With the situation going on with Greg Papa, there's no chemistry here. I guess he's trying to help this kid out, even though every other moment he talks to this kid as if, oh, your dad interviewed that guy, or you must have talked it over with your dad. There's a dad reference every 2 seconds. It's just a pile of dreck. It's bad. And part of this whole listening to KNBR, I do it because two things. One, it's still considered, I guess, Bay Area radio. I consume radio, although not KNBR as much as I used to, because I don't want to really hurt myself. I could end up, becoming suicidal listening to this shit. I'm kidding in that regard. You know what I mean? It's so full of dreck. And the other thing I was going to say was, how bad can it get? How bad can it get? They literally are putting on anybody, I guess, off the street to go on the air. And by the way, from a really reputable source, I think I may have mentioned this, but it bears repeating. A lot of these guys that they have on, even the part-timers and the Uber drivers and these frat boys, they're all these young 20-something frat boys, literally, that are on the air now, minus the two hangers-on, Papa and Brian Murphy on the morning show, and Copes or Copey Copes, Copelopes, Copity Cope, Copity Cope, Copes. He's on. He doesn't make much money. That's why they left him on. But they're putting these it's like a frat show, a frat house show, where they just grab these literally kids off the street and they put them on the air. And I guess there's no shame. And I don't want to get too down in the weeds with Greg Papa, and everybody's asking me who's the next to go. Is it Greg Papa? Is it Brian Murphy? I would say, hands down, it's Murphy, because Greg Papa, I guess, has a little bit of leverage, being that he broadcasts the 49ers. And the thinking is, even though the 49ers pay Greg Papa to do the broadcast, the play-by-play, and not KNBR on that job, that a disgruntled Greg Papa off his talk show would be somewhat irksome. And that Brian Murphy, who I don't think is going to be given the heave-ho, maybe when football season is over with, when there's that lull between football and baseball, there could be some movement. Although this time of the year, I think they've done what they've done. And you get what you pay for, and this is what you have at what I like to call them knibber. And they put these kids on the air. And there's no knock on kids. Some kids are very good. Some kids have some credibility. They have some degree of talent, and they're starting out very young, and they have respect. They have some broadcast acumen, but not at KNBR. And another thing I want to talk about too. So Papa0Silver is brutal. It's just a lousy show, and Greg Papa is, again, I'd be embarrassed. I really would. So, what have you. Quickly on another front, everybody's been asking me about the call letters and KGO and the fact that Cumulus, in their really unique, creative, yeah, right, ways, what they did is they took the frequency of KGO 810, which was a gambling station. Basically, these shows that were out of Vegas and New York. And by the way, many of them very good, I may add, much, much stronger than KNBR, but nevertheless unsuccessful. So they took KSFO from its 560 frequency and put it on 810 AM, which is a stronger 50,000 watt frequency, so they can just reward the Bay Area with this. Oh my God. It's all syndicated. It's all out of market. There's no local show. Don't tell me about Armstrong and Getty in the morning. It's a calamity. They're out of Sacramento. Talk about canned and absolutely awful. So that's what's going on. I don't know as far as the call letters. I guess the call letters KGO would be the property of Cumulus, because those are some very valuable call letters. But in any event, that's the situation. They have left KSFO on its old KSFO2, which is 560 AM, a far weaker signal than 810 AM. So we get two for the price of one. And it's also a calamity. And folks, those of you that still listen to these various stations, let me know. You can comment why, if you do, is it just creature of habit? Do you find any enjoyment? Let me know. And for that matter, feedback on anything. This is a kind of a dead week. We're now about a couple days away from Thanksgiving. And a program note. This is a last minute decision. I have thought about maybe doing a show for Thanksgiving, maybe talking about old KGO radio stories, many of which you probably haven't heard, maybe a Thanksgiving treat, something like that, about what's going on in Bay Area media. I have not made up my mind yet, because I'm still waiting on whether or not we can get some donations coming in here. So that would maybe you guys sponsor the show, because unlike many of you, my Thanksgiving will be right here. Same time, remember that same bat channel. I just am not in a Thanksgiving mood, holiday mood, so I'll be here more than likely. If not, I'll let you in. And again, not to sound a little self-serving, or if you want to make a donation, great. And that goes to enables me to continue paying for the production myself, to keep this show going. Make no bones about it. You support the show if there is one, or you don't support the show and there isn't one. And I'm not making waves. I try to do the best I can do and give you an honest show, and maybe don't have the most elaborate backdrop, don't have graphics. This is my graphic. See this guy? But I'm honest with you. I've always said that. I preach to you the fact that I don't work with notes. I'm not going to give you information about fifth round draft picks at a college for athletes and talk about the minutia of the 49ers, but I'm here and I think I do a good job. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on here wasting your time or mine, that kind of a thing. So, yeah, it's the holidays. If you can make a donation, great. It helps. If you can't, you must then have to listen to KNBR. No, whatever. Cheap shot. What the hell? They deserve it. So I'll be back later today more than likely. I'm working on a few stories, and it is Tuesday. This is the Rich Lieberman Media Pulse. Folks, feedback, rich.lieberman@gmail.com. If you want to donate, there's my PayPal icon on the right side of the show here. And also, if you can and want to, become a subscriber to my YouTube show. And we'll see you later.